Oh, hi guys, here Dr. Diaz. Okay, let's continue doing these problems we were doing in class. And number 27 says x squared, we have x squared is equal to 28y. So using the standard form of the equation, which is this one we have here, what we're going to do is we're going to equate 28, I said 20, well yeah, 28 with 4c, and we're going to solve for c, and we get that c is equal to 7. So that means that the focus is going to be 0 and c, which in this case is going to be 0 and 7, and the directrix is going to be y is equal to minus c, which in this case c is 7, is going to be minus 7. The vertex for these cases is going to be 0, 0. So what we're going to do now is going to graph this expression. Let me go here to the graph. So now looking here at the Cartesian coordinates, the first thing we have to look is what it will be the directrix, negative 7. So let's put this goes by 2. This is 2, 4, 6, 8. So negative 7 is around here. And the focus is in 7. So let's go here 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's going to be here, the focus. And let's try to graph this thing. And this is what we have. The parabola here, what the directrix is in y equal to negative 7. The focus is here in 0 and 7. And the parabola goes, well, it has the y and x intercepts actually the origin here. Okay, so let's try to see another one. Okay, let's try to do 13. Let's scroll down here a little bit. Let's go to 13 now. Okay, number 13 says y squared plus 12y minus 4x plus 16 is equal to 0. Now these ones are not the one that has a vertex at the origin. This one you have to find the vertex, and it's actually, we have to look at some of the equation that is in your formula sheet, the one that I give it to you. So look at that formula sheet, and I'm going to put here next to it some of those equations. Okay, there was a little bit of an earthquake here, but look, the only thing missing in the formula sheet is that the directrix for when x is equal to h, the vertical line, we're missing this one, is that y is equal to k minus c, and we're looking here for the absolute value c to put that expression. And for the second one, this is for the first one. For the second one, we would have then x is equal to h minus c. We have absolute value c, right? This is for the second one. Okay, now having these two equations, let's start solving this problem. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to regroup y's, like y squared minus plus 12y, I'm sorry about that, and we're going to send to the other side 4 will be positive 4x minus 16. We set these guys to the other side. Now that we have it like that, we're going to do here the same process as we're doing when we do completing the square. We're going to take 12, we're going to divide it by 2, and we're going to square it. So it's going to be 6 squared, it's going to be 36. And what happens is we're going to add 36 here, and we're going to add 36 here, because we want this look like this expression here, something which is in parentheses x minus h squared is equal to 4c of y minus k. So this is what we're going to do, and in doing this thing we will get an equation like this one, and we get y squared plus 12y plus 36 is equal to 4x minus 16 plus 36, right? If we add 36 in this side, we have to add 36 in the other side. When we do this, that we take the middle term, divide by 2, and we square it, and we add that result in both sides of the equation, we turn this part or we turn this equation into a perfect square trinomial. So it's going to look like y will be plus 6 squared equals to well, we have to put here 4x plus 20. Now here we can take as a common factor 4, and this is going to look like 4x plus 5. Now this is actually the equation we want. Y plus 6 square equal to 4x plus 5, because this one looks exactly like this one here. Aha! And now immediately we know that 4c, if we now start comparing here, we know that 4c is equal to 4, and c, therefore c is equal to 1. The vertex, let's go here, write the vertex is going to be h and k, and in this equation we have that h is equal to -5. Well, yeah, h will be equal to -5, and k is going to be equal to -6. Here, -5 and -6, because in the equation, look, it appears as y minus k and x minus h. Well, it's minus, we have +1, we know it's going to be the both sides, so it's going to be h is -5, right, here, and k is -6, -5 and -6. Perfect. Now we have to find the focus, and the focus is going to be h plus c and k, which in this case is going to be equal to -5 plus 1 and -6, which is going to give us -4 and -6. And then we have the directrix, which is going to be equal to x is equal to h minus c. This is all following here the equations here, right? And in this case it's going to be equal to -5 minus 1 is going to be equal to -6, right? Now we're going to find the y-intercept. So let me scroll here a little bit down this. Now using the equation, the original equation that it says, well, you're going to find the y-intercept, y squared plus 12y plus 16, because x is already, plus 4 x, well actually it will be -4 plus -4x plus 16, but we already said x equal to 0, so this is going to be 0, so this will end up being y squared plus 12y plus 16. And what we have to do now is factor this one. Actually this one cannot be factored, so we use the quadratic formula. We find the solution. Let me do that in a second. Okay, and I already did here the calculations. We use the quadratic formula and substitute this number. We got 12 squared, 16 times 4 is 64. We subtract this thing, we simplify a little bit, and we get here our two solutions, -1.53 and -10.5. So what we need to do now is just to graph this thing. Let me do the graph here in a second. Okay, now that we have here more or less a graph, I should have calculated something before we're doing this thing, the axis of symmetry. Let me write here, axis of symmetry. And the way you calculate that one, if you remember when you're working with parabolas, the axis of symmetry is calculated like this: y is equal to minus b divided by 2a. In our case, if you remember when we use the quadratic formula, b, well, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 12, and c was equal to, I guess it was 16 in this case, right? So it will be minus 12 divided by 2 times 1 is going to be -6. So we have the axis symmetry being when y is equal to -6. And actually, y equal to -6 is, we have -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is here. So let me draw this one in a second. Now look what I draw here. This yellow line here is the axis of symmetry. Oh, let me stop here. Okay, now this looks better. Okay, this yellow line here is the axis of symmetry when y is equal to -6. And this line here is the directrix when x is equal to -6. Okay, noticing that, if you remember, we found that the vertex was -5 and 6, -5, -6, and that the focus was -4, -6, -6. Then what we have to do, we trace here the parabola, going here with the vertex, intersecting in x equal to -1.5. So this is 1, this is 2. So somewhere from here, we go something like this. And then here in 10.5. So remember this one was 10, right? It will go 10.5 somewhere around here. It will do something like this. There, that's your parabola. And we know it is looking at the positive side of the x-axis because the leading coefficient is positive. Okay, let's do another one after. In a second, let me do another one. Let me save this one for now.